Hi guys, so we've received a question from DecepticonAndy, and it's about Space Marines, basically command squads and bikes. And Darrell, do you rate Space Marine bikers in 6th edition?
Yeah.
Specifically, of course, Decepticonandy's a Salamanders biker, which
Yes.
are pretty good.
All across the board, bikes are good. I can expect to see one of the bog standard Space Marines, Ultramarine builds is bikes all across the board.
Yeah.
You know, white scars, definitely.
Yeah, well, the thing is, Salamanders as well can be pretty good because those bikes can buy flamers and they can buy meltas and they can buy all that.
You can buy all the usual upgrades, and bikes are good. Free jink, free toughness 5. You can't be killed by a las cannon. The command squad can buy feel no pain.
Yeah.
They can buy a champion. They do all the fighting for you.
They all come with power weapons, or at least the ones that the first 3 you buy come with power weapons as standard, which of course can be an axe then.
Axes, if you want the AP2, or just a sword if you want to go at your normal initiative, or a maul. But I don't know, while I've got a crack grenade, I find it hard to make an argument for a maul.
Yeah, they've all got Hammer of Wrath as well, so charging in.
Impact hits.
Impact hits. You get an impact hit then a strength 4. Means you're going before the combat, so it's an extra wee attack. At that point,
somebody.
Yeah, at that point, you know, going with an axe and going last might not be so bad.
Especially if what people forget about these is these are exactly the same as shooting, so you have to remove guys from the front. If you all arrange your charge correctly, that say you're hitting their guy who has a power fist or something, whenever your impact hits come, he's the guy that has to take it first.
Yeah.
You know, so if you can get your angles in right, another person's maneuvered their guys badly, you can pick out people with that.
Does Hammer of Wrath come before issuing challenges as well?
It comes, I would say it's almost at the end of the movement phase, you know, so it comes, yes, before challenges would be issued and things like that there.
After you move your guys in, I suppose,
yeah, Hammer of Wrath will come straight away because you can't challenge before you hit the other guys. I don't know the exact wording in the main rulebook, but I would say it's along the lines of you can't challenge before you're in the combat, and as soon as you're in the combat, you've hit the guy.
It's only, it just struck me there because the way we've always played it, of course, is if you got Hammer of Wrath at all, it goes first, and then you work out all your combats. Because the amount of times I've seen an old sergeant falling over the Hammer of Wrath hit, especially a decent one with Furious Charge or something if you've got it, you know.
Exactly. So if you can angle your Hammer,
Furious Charge of course doesn't add to it, but just going in strength 4, you know.
If you can angle your Hammer of Wrath, that the only of your guys that get into the combat are hitting guys with special weapons, then they're the ones nearest you. They're the ones that go have to take a save.
Yeah. Twin link bolters, of course, on the bikes as well.
Yeah.
Now, Darrell, we know that the big problem with bikes and with huge biker armies is that objective-based, objective-based missions. If any of those objectives are on the 2nd floor or above, then you're...
First thing I would do is my objective goes up here.
Yeah.
So that bikes... I don't get why... This is something that came in the last edition of Fantasy. In Fantasy, it used to be guys on a horse couldn't attack buildings.
Yeah.
I don't understand why your Marine can't park his bike, get off it, and climb up that ruin.
Climb up.
I don't get it at all why he can't just park his bike and get off. And say it there, by a way for GW to sell more models.
That's true enough.
Guys off their bike
off
models.
The bikes.
But yes, as soon as you face somebody, if they've got a 2-level ruin like that, they'll set their objective if they get the opportunity up high so your bikes can't hold or contest. At that point, you need guys that can get up there. You do. Because if you end up with that, they go, well, we stick our 2 objectives, and say it's 2, say it's an average of 4, R2 on the top of ruins, and we just stick little minimum squads of tactical marines or scouts or something, and all of a sudden, all your bikes can do is like, what is it, Mad Max 2, where they drive around and around the thing, really angry, shouting insults towards you, but that's all they can do.
Okay, well, I mean, the thing is that Salamanders, of course, as a basic build of Space Marines, you could argue it's probably the strongest build of basic Space Marines.
Yeah, it's very, very good at the minute.
Twin-linked flamers, twin-linked
heavy flamers,
meltas, multi-meltas, and master-crafted thunderhammers.
Yep, so the other build, obviously, for Salamanders is Terminator, Thunderhammer, Storm Shield spam, but bikers would also work very well.
Well, I know quite a bit about Salamanders because my brother plays Salamanders and is obsessed
with the greatness of Salamanders.
is obsessed with giving meltas and combi meltas and combi flamers to everything that can possibly take it, and they are good. You know, the drop pod full of Stern Guard with a mixture of combi meltas and combi flamers, can be a fierce unit.
This is what we were chatting about. If you're going to take is it the captain that gets the command squad?
Yeah, at this point, you need, in order to have your biker army, you need to have a captain, and he needs to be on a bike. And at that point, then you can buy bikers as troops.
Yeah.
But in order to be Salamanders, let's face it, you need to have Vulcan Histan. You can't do it without it.
And the thing we started debating was, is Vulcan just a tax on this army? Because the bikers would have to drive off and leave him.
Yeah.
But I say put him in the drop pod. You may have to drop your Stern Guard unit down to 9 guys.
Yep.
So you can't combat squad, but you can sort of combat squad by Vulcan can just go, I'm away, guys.
At this point, we should clarify, of course, what we're talking about now is this ridiculously good unit that my brother plays.
Yeah, and that I play a variation of.
A variation of, yeah. And it's Stern Guard, 10 Stern Guard, usually with either 4 or 5 combi flamers and everybody else with combi meltas. They have all those special bolter shots. Basically, they land, they all jump out, and you go, what do I need to shoot here with? And you arrange your guys accordingly.
What is the other person's crutch? What does he lean on to try and win with?
And that's where my drop pod lands. All the guys jump out and they go, we hose you down with either the shot that doesn't give you an armor save plus flamers, depending on who you're killing, or the twin link meltas all over you, and the guys with the
AP3 shots, the rapid fire,
the rapid fire AP3s.
Even when you buy your combi weapon, you still get to keep your magic bolter below it.
Yeah.
We would go for the 9 guys in the drop pod, 5 of them with combi meltas and 4 of them with flamers, because Vulcan has a hand flame, a heavy flamer,
twin linked heavy flamer in his gauntlet,
built into his magic gauntlet that Vulcan, the original, hid on him.
And at that point, attached to your biker army, that's a pretty fierce unit to land the first turn. That
unit lands in and amongst the enemy, and it goes, who will we get rid of? And you have Vulcan there who has got his magic spear, who's a bit blunt these days, but he's still Vulcan.
Remember the argument is, it's not really. It's an unusual power weapon.
So it's AP3.
it looks to me a lot like a spear.
And it says it's a spear, but he's got an AP3 power weapon at strength 6. He goes at his normal initiative, so he's still a good guy for just chomping down lots of Marines or anybody bar Terminators. You know, it can't. The one thing you don't want to do with Vulcan is let him fight the other guy, Storm Shield, Thunderhammer, Terminates, because if he fails a save, he's not an Eternal Warrior. He dies.
He's not. And the thing about it is as well, the shooting that comes from the Stern Guard is really good, and the melta shots are really good against Terminators, but you're probably not going to have enough melta shots to kill an entire unit of...
At that point, you want the unit I do, that everybody's got combi plasma, but it doesn't suit this army. So this unit doesn't land beside Terminators unless they're the 5-up armor save Terminators. This is for, there's a big juicy Land Raider, let's get rid of it. There's a squadron of Lehman Russ battle tanks, let's get rid of lots of them. You know, once you're getting your guys out, if you're only going to fire half your combi weapons, put them guys to the front. With the flamers, you're going to have them guys to the front.
And the other guys behind, of course, remember, they can shoot you don't get cover saves as well, so it's a really flexible unit. It's fantastic.
Yeah, so whenever you're taking hits back and other guys shooting back at you, the guys who've already shot their load with their combi weapon just goes, well, we'll all fall down and die now to keep our muckers at the back alive.
That's it. I mean, of course, the main point of that whole Stern Guard unit is you want to have it attack the stuff that you know is going to try and kill you the next turn, and just take it out, so that they're shooting back with las guns or something stupid.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
take
that all day.
5 combi meltas into like Lehman Russ squadron. You could get lucky and kill. I would say on average you'll do for 2 of them. You could get lucky and get rid of a full squadron.
You could. And the last guy's probably not going to be in any good shape either. After taking all that stuff, you know, a good couple of penetrating hits with a good roll on the table.
Well, you're getting re-rolls to hit there. You're getting rolling 2d6 for that pen, because you'll land right beside them boys. Yeah. And you could get rid of a squadron of battle tanks, which you can see a guard player's face just drop, and all of a sudden it was, no, what are we going to do?
Yeah. And the good Stern Guard, by the way, are brilliant. There are 2 attacks on them as well.
Yeah, so they're all sergeants.
They're no slouches by any means.
They're all sergeants, and the thing is, you go to charge them, and it's the melta guns that have killed the tanks. all of a sudden them flamers do Wall of Death.
Wall of Death as well. That's it. Yeah.
Wall of Death is great. So it's a great unit. This is where we would stick Vulcan. This is our opinion on Vulcan.
If you've got a biker army, that is, of course. Yeah. That's the idea.
His problem is he can't really join the Terminators that are going to deep strike. Do you really want to be buying Land Raiders? I don't see it anymore. You know.
Not when you can have that really handy unit in a drop pod.
Yeah.
You know.
Just let the rest of your guys walk. If
you want to do it in a budget, of course you can do it with the bog standard tactical squad. You're not going to get. They're not going to be as killy as anything else because you don't get quite the amount of combi attacks that you're going to get the other one, but they'll still do it.
They can have two Melta type weapons coming down in, melt a bomb.
They can have. I think they can have three. They can have a multi-melta, a melta gun, and a combi melta on the sergeant.
But as soon as you stick Vulcan in there, then you're losing some of them. You can only have 9 guys.
You can only have 9 guys at that point, so you lose your multi-melta at that point.
Yeah, so. You're going to lose all them weapons that are, if the squad number's 10 men, you can get one of these. But for us, for this biker list, it's Sternguard. And see a great thing about Sternguard, you can take your regular little clippy Marine.
Yeah, paint his helmet.
Paint his helmet. What I did to make some of my guys into combi flamers, because I've never seen a combi flamer, apart from a chaos one, is I just stuck a little bit of green stuff on the end of his bolter and painted it like brass. And all of a sudden, that's a combi bolter.
Yeah.
You know.
Actually, I mean, let's face it, there are enough flamer weapons out there, like hand flamers and things, that especially if you've got a load of Blood Angel type guys, because you don't really need a huge amount of hand flamers for Blood Angels. You just start clipping them up.
Clipping them off, stick them onto the end of your bolt guns. But yeah, Sternguard are easy to do. You don't have to buy specific models really for them. So you can just go, there's 10 tactical Marines that are usually cannon fodder. Yeah. All of a sudden now they're a serious pain. And with this drop pod, guys, if the other person deploys well, you just go, my guys aren't getting inside that death can. We're just going to stay on our side of the board and use our AP3 shooting to defend our objective.
Or they've got a long range sort of sniper shooting as well.
30 inch range shot as well. So it's a great unit. With Vulcan, I think it would really do it. The bikes, I think if you're just sharp with your movement of your bikes, you're getting 5-up jink all the time with your bike. Even if you don't move, you're getting 5-up jink with your bike all the time.
That's it.
They can come across the board. They can hand out the pain. Toughness 5. They're all good, but yes, definitely command squad with bikes. Bikes all across the board, and some Sternguard or something just to knock the other person off their objective.
Yep. So, what do you think, guys? Salamanders, as we know, are pretty good. Sternguard, what do you think of that idea? Combine them with the bikes to get a really nasty unit to go and shove guys off your objective. Of course, remember, there is a chance you might get that Warlord trait where that could be a scoring unit as well.
Yeah, even an outflanking unit. Possibly a second drop pod full of tactical Marines and nothing else in it, so they can land at the other person's objective, combat squad, and take a couple of objectives.
Go and run over and get the objective as well.
It's easy for us to keep chatting about what you could possibly add to this, but we want to try and keep it to what you could theoretically add to it in a proper army list.
Well, that's it. Well, here's the challenge then to DecepticonAndy and anybody else out there. Why don't you write us up the Salamanders list? Make it about 1850. That's a good tournament size. Yeah. Once it gets 2,000 points and beyond, I mean, that's basically getting to the stage where you can stick anything in it. Once you're limited to about 1850, it becomes a lot harder to make a really good, solid list. So if you guys can do it, send it in to us and we'll get chatting about it. But we'll now get on and we'll have a look at some more listed because we've got plenty after the our last request.